Alright, welcome back to another video. So, my last video I uploaded was a Sonic tier list video, and I really liked that video. I thought it was I enjoyed making it. So I liked yapping my guns for an hour about just like Sonic games and stuff like that. And in between me recording other stuff, like I already have another video I'm gonna probably record tonight or tomorrow that's gonna be uploaded soon on another game. I wanted to talk about Dragon Ball. The game I'm playing, like I'm gonna be uploading, is in Dragon Ball related, so I did want to do something a little bit Dragon Ball before it comes out, which I'm really excited to record. But I basically wanted to talk about where I feel about all these Dragon Ball games. I played most of the Dragon Ball games, pretty much most of them, mostly all of the mainline games. So I wanted to start ranking all of them and just give my opinions on what makes a good Dragon Ball game to me and what makes a bad Dragon Ball game to me. So as you can see, I have like S, A, B, C, D, whatever. Haven't played. There's a lot of games on here. Even though I played a lot of Dragon Ball games, there's a lot of games on here I haven't played. It's mostly spin-offs and RPGs that I haven't played. But the one that I'm trying to figure out is if I should even rank the mobile games like Dragon Ball Legends, Dokkan Battle, because I played those games a lot. Well, not Dragon Ball Legends anymore, but I played Dokkan a lot, and I've been playing it since like 2016. So like I like that game a lot, but like I don't know if I should even put it on here because it's not like a mainline Dragon Ball game, but we'll figure it out. So I'm gonna start off by putting a lot of games in here that I haven't played yet. So I don't even know what this is. Is that Dragon Balls? What is that? I don't even know what that is. I'm just gonna start off with some ones that I definitely have played. I believe Budokai 3. So Budokai 3 is basically like, in my opinion, like the first like big Dragon Ball game I played that like was more centered on the combat to me. Like I feel like Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 has a really fun combat system. I wouldn't say the game's like balanced. It's not at all. Like none of these Dragon Ball games besides like Fighters, which we'll talk about later, is balanced. Like all these games are not balanced at all. They're supposed to be like, for me, Dragon Ball games are supposed to be just like fun and shit like that. Like it's supposed to just be like a fun, fast game you play with your friends, like beam struggles, teleporting, doing super moves that take like 10 years to show the animation for, but the animation looks 6. And I feel like that Budokai 3 really exemplified that. Like I feel like that was like, I love Budokai 1, which we're gonna talk about later whenever I can find it. But Budokai 3 I feel like was the first like real Dragon Ball game that like was way more fun. It wasn't just reliant on its story mode. Like the story mode was fun, like the whole like, so the way the story mode worked was that you got to pick certain characters like either Goku, Vegeta, I think Krillin, who else was there, like Gohan, and you would go through like Dragon Ball as them. So like you would go through Dragon Ball and only do like their fights. So like Goku would fight like Raditz, and then he would fight like Frieza, but like he wouldn't fight people like Zarbon or Dodoria or something like that, or he wouldn't fight battles that he didn't fight. So I thought that was cool because that made it to where every single person's story mode you got to actually like experience it through like their perspective, and I really liked that idea for a story mode. And I liked flying around the world and stuff like that. So I'm putting it in S. I think there's not really anything wrong with this game. It's like, in my opinion, I think this is the perfect Dragon Ball game. Like in the tier of perfect Dragon Ball games. It has a good story mode. It has amazing combat and like fun combat, and then also it has some good single player content like World Tournament, and like there's some other modes besides the story mode. There's another mode. I think it's like an endless mode or something like that. But I think this is a really good game, and it still lives up to this day. I think the animations and the graphics still look good to this day, even though this is like a PlayStation 2 game. So I'm putting it in S. I'm going to use an example of what makes not a good Dragon Ball game. Not this game, but Battle of Z. Battle of Z is a C tier Dragon Ball game, in my opinion. Some people put it in D, but I got it when it first came out, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it's kind of fun. Like I thought it was kind of fun when it first came out. Like the whole co-op, being able to team up with your friends and stuff like that to go fight boss. Like I thought it was fun. I thought the co-op was fun. It's not like a deep game or a hard game or even like really like a game you would ever go back to after you finish it. because there was a lot of levels. But after you finish all the levels, there's no other reason to play it. There's not like really like there's a versus mode, I think, but like this game is not competitive or even like really versus mode E. It's more about co-op. It's more about you and your friends doing these hard levels. Because I remember back then, some of them levels were hard. Like I think the Vegito level was super hard, and then there's one where you have to fight all the bosses, I think, and that one was hard. I think there's one that you have to fight every character in the game. I think that was the Vegito one. You have to fight every character in the game leading up to Vegito, and I believe that was super hard. But it was fun. It actually felt like rewarding when we actually like won and like beat the boss. So in my opinion, I had fun with it. So I don't think it goes in D. Some people put it in D, but me personally, I wouldn't put it in D. I think it was a fun game, and I think that like it was good for the time. Like it was fun at the time. Would I go back to it? Nah, I wouldn't go back to it. Maybe if they re-released it, maybe I'll play like if they re-released it, I'll play it like one time and then not touch it again. So that's why it's in C. Like I wouldn't play it again. Super Sonic Warriors 2. I played Super Sonic Warriors 2. I played both of them. That's a D. I think it's a D. Yeah, it's a DS Dragon Ball game. It's really subpar. I don't think it's that good. It's just a DS Dragon Ball game. I don't even really like the sprites like that either. I didn't really like the sprites. They were just, it definitely shows its age. I didn't like the combat. The way I played it, because I played it on an emulator, because back then, I think it was around the time, like 2014, 2012. This was when I was in middle school, beginning of high school. I was big on getting emulators, especially like on my iPad, because I think it was an iPad service, like it was like someone made like GBA for iOS, I think, and like DS for iOS and stuff like that. And I would play them. I would play like a bunch of games. Like that's how I played some DS games I never got to play before. Like that's how I played Mother 3 and stuff like that on the GBA for iOS stuff. And then another game I tried out Super Sonic Warriors 1 and 2, and I didn't really like it. I don't even think that me being held back by the control, like me playing on the touchpad, like held me back from playing the game. In my opinion, I feel like the game was like really easy to play on touch controls. So like I don't think even if I played on an original DS or on a controller, it would have made the game better to me. So like I'm gonna put it in D. I'm gonna put Super Sonic Warriors 1 and 2 in D whenever I find the other one, because I feel like they're both like the same game to me. They're really similar. One's not really better than the other. Ooh, I think we're about to get into the big boys. This is Budokai Tenkaichi 2. I think this is Budokai Tenkaichi 2. This one's 3. I kind of want to save those for later. I want to talk about Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1, I know I said how I felt about Budokai 3. I felt like it had good story mode, it had good single player content, and it has good combat. I think Budokai 1, the combat's like clunky because it's like the first game in this type of series. So, but it has a lot of charm. Like the game has a lot of charm. I like the story mode. I like the overall aesthetic of the game. Like one of my favorite things is looking at the character selection menu. The character selection menu has so much charm. I just love how they don't just put like 3D models on, like being lazy. Like that should give everyone like their own unique icon, and it shows like their personality and their character. And I really like that. I feel like Budokai 1 just had a lot of charm, and I believe that's what makes a lot of like anime games to me, is if the game has charm. Like you feel like this game had life to it, even though it's like clunky nowadays. It had life, and you could tell that the developers like actually like cared about what they were making. And so, damn, I'm putting it in B, but if I was like want to be nostalgic, I'll put it in A. But like it's really fun, like really, it's really fun and charming. But like it's not the craziest. Like it's definitely like if you play more of it, you'll just see how clunky it is. So it's definitely harder to play nowadays. Like there's, in my opinion, there's no reason why you would play Budokai 1 over Budokai 3. But I think it still deserves to be pretty high up or in the good tier, because it's still like, it built the foundation on everything, and it's still like really fun to go back and look at, in my opinion, compared to some other games that I'll talk about later. Like, we're not even gonna talk about it, but this game definitely has charm, and it's definitely really good. But we should talk about Budokai Tenkaichi. So this is pretty easy for me. Tenkaichi 3, S tier. Tenkaichi 2, A tier. I like both of those games a lot. The only game I really don't like in the Tenkaichi series at all is like Ultimate Tenkaichi or Tenkaichi 1. But we'll talk about those later when we do. But Tenkaichi 1 is like, I feel like Tenkaichi 1 is just a really worse Tenkaichi 2 and 3. And I feel like what Tenkaichi 2 does really good is I felt like the combat was definitely faster and better than Tenkaichi 1. Way better than Tenkaichi 1. But like, I feel like the story mode was okay. I feel like there's, so the problem is with a lot of people, the difference between Tenkaichi 3 and 2. Because the only thing that Tenkaichi 2 and 3 are different with is the story mode, some other side modes, and like the gameplay. Tenkaichi 3 has definitely the best gameplay. It's the fastest, it's the most like responsive, and it looks like the nicest. It's definitely like the nicest. Tenkaichi 3 is always known as being like the biggest Dragon Ball game because every single Dragon Ball character or person you could think of is probably in this game. So I would say that adds a lot of charm to it. Like every person that's a fan of any character in Dragon Ball can play this game. But I feel like the only problem with Tenkaichi 2 I have is the story mode. A lot of people like Tenkaichi 2 story mode, but I prefer Tenkaichi 3 story mode. Even though I think Tenkaichi 3 didn't have as much as 2, but 3 I feel like had a more charming story mode because of the actions in between. So whenever you're fighting an enemy in Tenkaichi 3, you would play the match, right? And then randomly during certain parts, not really randomly, but in terms of the story mode, whenever something will happen, they'll allow a cutscene to happen, and then like you'll transform and stuff like that. For example, when Goku fought Frieza, you can like fight, and then you would like have like a part where you have to click a button, so where you can start transforming, and then you'll see a whole animation, and it kind of feels like the show to me because it feels like you weren't starting off in that form. Like you actually have to do like the whole like fighting him in base and then go to Super Saiyan just like in the show. And I kind of like that a lot, and I like the animations and stuff like that. I didn't feel like it interrupted the game too much because, to be honest, like I'm playing Tenkaichi 3 for the Amazing Story mode. So I want to see these animations. I want to see the characters get beat up. I want to see the models and stuff like that. And so I really did like that over Tenkaichi 2. But I do have more memories with Tenkaichi 2. Like Tenkaichi 2 was the Tenkaichi game I played the most, and so I have a lot of love for it. So I'm putting it in S. I'm putting it in S with Tenkaichi 3. Tenkaichi 3 is better, but like Tenkaichi 2 has so much charm to me, and I love that about it. I love it. I love Tenkaichi 2. Like I have a lot of memories with it, and it's definitely like one of the funnest Dragon Ball games I played. And I'm thinking already about this tier list. This is definitely, hopefully, going to be shorter than my Sonic one. But a lot of these games, like, a lot of these games I would go back to. Like, we're going to talk about another game later, but, like, I'm thinking about Xenoverse 2. I'm just thinking about Xenoverse 2. And, like, I have a really biased opinion on Xenoverse 2. But we'll talk about that later. You'll see, because it's near the bottom-ish. So we're going to talk about that later. Next game we're talking about, Raging Blast 2. I have really split opinions on Raging Blast 2. I like Raging Blast 2. Okay, I like Raging Blast 2. This is some people disagree. I like Raging Blast 2 more than Raging Blast. But that's only because the gameplay and the presentation. I like how the models look in Raging Blast 2 more. I like how the stages look more. Even though I think they have the same stages, but Raging Blast 2 just has better looking stages, just better presentation in general. But I also like the combat more in Raging Blast 2. I think that the combat is more fluid, more fast. Like one of my favorite characters to play in that game is Super Saiyan 2 Goku, specifically Super Saiyan 2 Goku, because he has all these kicks and he's like really fun, and a lot of his moves cancel and they look sick. Definitely one of the funnest characters to me, like in any Dragon Ball game, and it comes from Raging Blast 2. And I feel like that game was better to me in terms of gameplay. But the only problem is that Raging Blast 2 actually has a story mode. Well, Raging Blast 2 had a mode called Galaxy Mode, where you would get to pick a certain character off the roster and basically go through like a grid board thing and basically do missions like beat this person in 3 minutes or beat this person with no health or something like that. And then like you would just unlock more of the grid. And so there wasn't really a story mode like at all. You just played it basically, it was just a mission mode. And a lot of people didn't like that, and I understand because it would have been cool to see the story in the Raging Blast 2 graphic, but I feel like the game still shouldn't be held back that much by it. But I can see what people are saying, but personally, I'm thinking about this too. This is about what games do I rather play, like rather go back and play the most, and I'm gonna say I'd rather play Raging Blast 2 more than Raging Blast 1. So Raging Blast 2 is gonna go there, and Raging Blast 1's gonna go here. I know this, it sounds weird, but like Raging Blast 1, I think like the presentation's not bad or anything. I don't mind the anime type of cell shaded models, but I feel like the combat is so weird to me compared to Raging Blast 2. It doesn't feel as fluid. It feels a lot more clunky. It feels more like the basic anime type of controls that everyone talks about, and I felt like Raging Blast 2 did better at that. I felt like Raging Blast 2 was way more fun to me to play and better for me to look at in terms of my opinion. The Raging Blast 1 story mode's pretty good. Like I think it's really good, and they go into a lot of detail about stuff and like with their animations. And I believe it also does like the same thing as Budokai 3, where it stops you in the middle of a fight to like coincide with the show and like transform and stuff like that. And I like that. But I think I just rather play Raging Blast 2. Yeah, I think I'd rather play Raging Blast 2. Even with the Galaxy mode, I still think the combat in the game is so fun that I'm still willing to play it over Raging Blast 1. I hope that was understandable. I hope that's understandable. But if you put Raging Blast 1 over Raging Blast 2, that is completely understandable and completely fine. That is super understandable. I'm just biased with the combat of this game. Like I really liked it. So the next thing we're talking about, I played this one, but I don't feel good enough to rank it. I believe this was a handheld game. It's like a Dragon Ball Z Kai game, but I think it's like the one with the big models, like the big heads and stuff like that. I think. I'm not sure. I haven't played this yet. I believe this is the Dragon Ball, the Switch Dragon Ball Heroes game. I'm not a big Dragon Ball Heroes guy. I've always seen them. I always like seeing the trailers, and sometimes I check out the anime, like the new anime that came out like 3 years ago or something like that. But I don't really have the urge to play them, because I don't mind RPGs, but like it's like a car. I just have the urge to play it. I just thought it looked cool, but I never had the urge to play it. So I'm gonna put it right there, and then I'm gonna put this right here because I don't feel like I'm good at. I don't feel like it's worth ranking. I've played this actually. Don't ask why, but I've actually played this. But this is more like a Budokai type game to me. But like I hate Dragon Ball Evolution, so I would never go back to it. I don't know how I played this, but I haven't played like the Dragon Ball Heroes game, either of them, and it makes me kind of sad that I haven't. Shin Budokai and Shin Budokai Another Road. I'm gonna see if I can find Shin Budokai Another Road. But both those games are really fun. Like really fun. I think Shin Budokai and Shin Budokai Another World are basically like the next version of like Budokai 3. I think it's really fun. I think it was held back by it being on the PSP, but that doesn't stop it from being a good game in my opinion. I think Shin Budokai Another Road's better. I think Shin Budokai Another Road's the one with the Trunks storyline, and if it is that one, that storyline's actually really cool. The combat's really similar to Budokai 3. I don't think they really changed anything, but I thought it was just good. I thought it wasn't as good as Budokai 3, but I thought it was just like, it was fun. Like it was a fun little like side PSP game that really tried to enhance or go more into the Budokai type genre of the series. So I like it. I like both. I think Another Road's definitely better. If I'm right about that being the Trunks one, the Trunks storyline one, it's definitely better. It's going in A. I'm putting Shin Budokai. I'm putting Shin Budokai in A. I mean, not in A and B, but I'm putting it. I feel like I'm putting it below Raging Blast 1. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I haven't played this either. I think this is the 3DS Dragon Ball Heroes game. Haven't played it. I haven't played these older games. I think this is like Hyper Pototen or Hyper Dimension. I haven't played them. They're on Fightcade, so I could play them. If y'all want to see that, just let me know. I could try them out, but so far I have not played them. Burst Limit is going in A. Burst Limit is so good. This is like, in my opinion, another like the final form of the Budokai gameplay style. It is so fun, like really fun. The graphics are amazing. The fighting systems are good. The content's good. I feel like the only problem with Burst Limit is that it only stops at the Cell Saga. It doesn't go into Majin Buu Saga stuff or any type of like other. I don't think it does any movies either. And I think that holds back the game a lot. We only get to play from like the Saiyan Saga up to like the Cell Saga, which the game is still really good. Like, if y'all haven't seen some scenes from this movie, from this game, like, look up Goku transforms against Frieza from Burst Limit. That looks so good. Like, it's crazy that this PS3 game is still looking better than some other games nowadays, and it looks amazing. Like, I think the game got rushed because this was like when Dragon Ball was like super heavy, I believe, into releasing every year. So like I wouldn't say a lot, but some game companies or some game series have a quota they have to meet, and I believe back then, I don't think they do it now really, but Dragon Ball had to drop a game like every year. That's why there's so many Dragon Ball games. That's also why there's like so many Spider-Man games back then, because Activision had to drop a game every year. And I believe that like, I think Sonic didn't have to drop a game every year, but they basically did. But I feel like Burst Limit suffered from that because they didn't get to finish the game. They didn't get to finish the entire storyline. And I feel like that's something that holds it back. And like, I feel like if we had more content, just more story, I feel like it would have been an S tier game. But like, if you want to put it in S tier, just based off of the gameplay and the Cell Saga, like go into the Cell Saga, I think that's totally valid. Like, super valid. Like, it makes me sad thinking about it. I'm like, dang, I really wanted to see like things like Majin Vegeta's like final explosion and stuff like that, but we don't get that. And I'm like, dang, that would have been so sick. Just thinking about it, like, it would have been cool just being able to see like those type of scenes in that animation style. But it's still good. Like, it's still really good. But I would say just look up Burst Limit Goku versus Frieza. I don't think you're not gonna regret it if you look it up. It looks amazing. Like, really good. But I think it deserves to be at least in A tier. If you want to put it in S, some people put it in S. If you want to put it in S, you're totally valid too. Like, it's really good. So I'm gonna leave it there. But next I'm going to put, I haven't played this. I don't know what that is. I haven't played this. Okay, I'm putting Dokkan on here. Actually, no. I don't want to put Dokkan on here, because if I put Dokkan on here, it has to go in S, because I'm talking about replayability and just how fun the game is, and I play Dokkan every day. Like, unrealistically play Dokkan every day. Like, I have a pretty stacked account. I'm not a whale though. I'm free to play, but I play the Japanese version, and I have a pretty good account. And I play it a lot. I've been playing it since like the first banner I did. I used to play on global, and I played the first, like, I got into it on this one banner. It was like the God Goku and Bardock banner. It was the Strength God Goku and the Physical Bardock banner. But then I switched to JP when the Dragon Ball Fusions banner dropped, and I've been playing it ever since, and I haven't dropped it. And so I play it every day, and it's fun to me. It's really fun. I like watching the characters. So like, I don't want to put it on here because I just want to talk about mainline games, and it wouldn't be fair to these games that I put this or Dragon Ball Legends on there. But I just wanted to get my thoughts. But if I did, it would go into S. But Dragon Ball Fusions, I liked Dragon Ball Fusion when it first came out, but I don't like a lot of the stuff they do now. Like I hated Zenkais. Zenkais killed the game for me. Like, I don't like Zenkais at all. I feel like that game, it's weird that I'm saying that, I feel like that game's really grind heavy. Like, really grind heavy, but I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I was really tired of it. I feel like Dokkan wasn't as grind heavy, and like Dokkan was still fun without being grind heavy, because it's a PvE game, while the Legends is a PvP game, and like literally like that's half of the game that like you're not playing because you're not keeping up with the meta. And I feel like that's what hurt me a lot. That's also why I don't want Dokkan to get PvP at all. Like, people talk about Dokkan should get PvP, and I'm like, nah, it shouldn't get PvP like at all. Let's not do that. So I believe this is, I don't know what that is. Connect goes in, that's easy. We don't even have to discuss it. But actually, we can discuss it. Just bad motion controls. Graphics are fine. Terrible controls, just terrible. Not fun at all. There's no reason to play it unless you want to torture your friends or you want to get a giant headache. It's what you do whenever you're you're just with your friends and you want to drink and play a game. Like, that's a game that I would play drinking probably, and like to suffer, not to have fun, to suffer. So I'm putting that's like definitely like probably the worst Dragon Ball game. Yeah, this is tag team. I think this is Tenkaichi tag team. Yeah, that game was cool. It was cool. I liked the whole tag team aesthetic. being able to like have like you can get rid of computer and stuff like that. One of my favorite things, I believe that if you were on a tag team, right? So if you're on a tag team and you have Goku and Vegeta, I'm sorry, I yawned. I tried to turn off my mic for it, but I feel like one of my favorite things about it was that so if you were Goku and your teammate was Vegeta, I believe that when y'all fused, y'all would become one character. It was kind of cool. Like some characters you couldn't fuse with unless you both picked them at the character selection screen, like Goten and Trunks and stuff like that, or Goku and Vegeta. And I really like that. I like how like it's good, but it's also like a bad thing because if you're fighting an opponent that's 2 people, then like it's 2-on-1. But now you're playing a really busted ass character, and so like I really like that. I really like that design choice. Instead of you making people have to like, instead of just making people have to pick Vegeta or Gogeta at the character selection screen, having Vegeta and Gogeta like that, I feel like that actually gave you like a consequence of using these busted characters, because usually in like all these old Dragon Ball games, the fusions are busted. Like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Tenkaichi 3 or Tenkaichi 2, nasty. And then in Budokai 3 they have fusions, but the fusions are like put behind a transformation, and they are busted. That's why they have a timer on them, but they are busted. But that's what I want to say. I think Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi tag team is fine. I don't think it's C tier at all. Like this list is gonna be, I think it's gonna be really top heavy because a lot of these games I really like. Ooh. I don't think I played this one. I don't know. That looks familiar, but I don't think I played it. I haven't played that either. I've actually played this. It's the advanced Dragon Ball game. I've definitely played it. I don't know if I feel confident enough to rank it though. Like I played through most of it. It was actually really fun. I really like the sprites. The sprites are so nice. I'm not gonna rate it. I'm not gonna put it on here because I have played it, so I don't want to put it in haven't played. But it is really nice. Really nice. Yeah, really nice. But I don't think. Nah, I'm not putting it on there. Haven't played that. I played this one too. It's a Dragon Ball GT like beat 'em up game, just like this one. I think this one's better. Now I'm rating it. This one's going like, oh, I don't want to put it that high. I don't want to put it that high either. I think Battle of Z. I'd rather play Battle of Z. I'm putting that there. I'm putting. Oof, this is hard actually. Because these games, they're beat 'em ups, so beat 'em ups are kind of. Beat 'em ups are cool, but I feel like beat 'em ups get really old really fast. You know what I'm thinking about it? This might be better than this. Because this is just Budokai. It's really just a bad version of Budokai. But like, this is nasty. Oh my goodness, this is nasty. Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah, but that's nasty. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't played that. Dragon Ball Fusions is so sick. It's going in A. It's so good. Like, it's actually really good. I love the combat. I love the whole, like, you got your characters, like, I believe it's 3. It might be even more than that. But it's like, you have your characters, you have your opponent's team, and you're on a map. And basically, you have to pick where you want to put your characters, and then what moves you want to do, and how it's going to affect certain people. So basically, your goal is to, like, eliminate your enemies. But, like, you have to be smart with it. Like, it's an RPG. And I really like the whole fusion aesthetic where you can combine your characters and then fuse to create like one big character. But you have to be like smart with it. It's a really deep PvP game. Like it's really like complex sometimes. Like you actually gotta think. And I like it. I wish they would re-release it. I really thought they were gonna re-release it on the Switch, but they're not. They haven't. So I have a feeling they're not going to, because it was only on the 3DS. But it's really fun. Like unrealistically fun to me. I feel like they should make a second one, but that's my problem. I feel like they should re-release it, like remake it on the Switch, or make a second one, but I don't think they are. So that makes me kind of sad, because it's really good. But I'm putting it in A. I'm putting it in A. It's really fun. Really fun. If anyone has a 3DS, I would recommend Dragon Ball Fusions, Kid Icarus Uprising, Luigi's Mansion 2, Smash 3DS, I guess. And what else is really good? Kid Icarus Uprising is still like my favorite 3DS game. I'm getting off topic. I don't want to talk about Kid Icarus Uprising. If I talk about Kid Icarus Uprising, we're gonna be here for like an hour. Not even talk about Dragon Ball. Just talking about Kid Icarus Uprising. That game is amazing. But is this Budokai 2? I believe that is Budokai 2. I fucking hate Budokai 2. I found Supersonic Warriors as well. I hate Budokai 2 so much. Haven't played the... I played this, but it doesn't go in there. Dragon Ball Z, I think this is the arcade game. Haven't played it. I really want to play it, but I can't because it's an arcade game in Japan. But it looks so sick. Like, it actually looks really cool. Like, I like the models. They're like clay, hyper-realistic models. Really sick. But I'm looking for a certain game. I think this is Budokai 2. I'm trying to see, make sure I'm not mistaking it for something else. There's Saga. Saga's definitely going in D. Would I rather play Sagas or Connect? I think I'd rather play Sagas. Okay, I'm gonna put Budokai 2 where it's gonna go, then I'm gonna talk about Sagas. Budokai 2, if this is Budokai 2, I believe so. It definitely looks like it. Budokai 2, I hate Budokai 2. I hate Budokai 2. I feel like the gameplay is the same as Budokai 1. Like, they don't feel that much different to me. They still feel like the same like type of clunkiness a little bit. Except, I don't like how Budokai 2 looks, and I hate the story mode. So, the story mode of Budokai 2, it basically goes over Dragon Ball Z, but the way they do it is that it's a grid. So, you're on a big grid map, and you move, like, you can choose how many times you move on the map, I believe, and you have to fight enemies. But, like, it's super repetitive. Like, you have to go and, like, accomplish the goal, which I believe some of the times the goal is reaching the goal line, but I believe some of them is, like, beating all the enemies. And you have to fight bosses, like, multiple times, because basically, like, you would attack, they would have life bars, but the life bars weren't like in the match. They would be like on the grid, to where like you knock them out once and then they got 5 more life bars, and then you have to beat those 5 other life bars to beat them and then beat the level. And it was so repetitive, it wasn't fun at all. And then even on the map, you would have to end up fighting side enemies like Cybermen, who also could have life bars, and like, it wasn't fun. It's like, in my opinion, one of the worst Dragon Ball story modes ever. Like, that's why on this collection, I think that's the sole reason why on the HD collection, which I put over here somewhere, on the HD collection, that's the sole reason why I don't believe Budokai 2 is on the HD collection, because it's not that different from Budokai 1. It just has a worse story mode, and I believe that's the reason why they didn't put it on there, because they know that everyone hates the grid. I haven't met a single person in my life that likes the grid story mode in Budokai 1. So that's why like, this is weird, but I'm putting it in D, actually. I'd rather play the Dragon Ball beat 'em up game. I'd rather play Battle of Z and everything else more than Budokai 2. Like, I dread going back to Budokai 2 if I ever would have to play it again. Well, I almost sneezed. I was about to sneeze all up in the mic. That's nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. This is Budokai Tenkaichi. So I talked about it a long time ago, but I'm finally gonna rate it. I'm gonna put it. This is actually kind of hard. I find Tenkaichi Tag Team more fun than Budokai Tenkaichi 1. I already explained why it's not as fun to me. Like, it's still good, but this game is clunky, like really clunky. But that Tenkaichi 2 and 3 just like overshadow it in every single other way. I'm putting in the top of C. But I wouldn't really want to go back to it like that. But it's adorable. It's a little cute because of how you see where Tenkaichi started and how much better it gets. But the first game, you gotta give it some respect, so you can't like put it in D. But like, I'm not gonna put it. I don't think it's in the same ballpark as these games. Yeah, it's not in the same ballpark, so I'm putting it in B, me and C. So I haven't played these. These are a lot of Dragon Ball games. I don't know this one. I thought it was Legacy of Goku, but it's not. I don't think it's Legacy of Goku. This one, this is Extreme Butoden. Extreme Butoden's really cool. Really fun. The combat. I like the combat a lot. I like it a lot. It also has like some of my favorite Dragon Ball sprites ever. The sprites are amazing. It's not that deep of a game. I don't remember the story like that. I just remember the combat. I also liked how the only thing I didn't like is how certain characters were locked behind assists. So you would have main characters like Goku's and your Vegetas, but then some characters would be like assist characters, like characters you could bring into battle and use only as assists. And there's some really important characters on there that were only used as assists that I didn't like that they did. Like they only had Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as an assist. I didn't like that. I'm putting it in B. I'm putting it over Shinpotone. But not yeah, Shinpotone. But did I say Shinpotone? I meant Shin, whatever. You know what I meant. I'm putting it over these two, but like it's really fun. It's getting carried by the combat system to me because the combat system is really fun. But I wish it I definitely don't remember the story mode like that. I don't even think it really had one like that. I feel like it was probably like an arcade type of story mode, but it's really, really fun. I remember it being really fun. I really want to play it again. I don't have a 3DS right now, so there's a lot of games I want to play on the 3DS. The 3DS was an underrated console, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, they had a lot of good games on there. Not just Dragon Ball games, just games in general. Like, one of my favorite games of all time is Kid Icarus Uprising, and that's on the 3DS. That's the second time I've talked about. Okay, we need to stop talking about these 3DS games, because I'm going to end up talking about Kid Icarus Uprising all day. Haven't played this. I don't believe I played this. I don't think this is this is not Legacy of Goku. Because Legacy of Goku is like, have I played this? No. I've seen it though. Legacy of Goku 2 is going in S. That game is so good. Like actually really, really good. It's an RPG that was released on the Game Boy Advance for Dragon Ball. I believe it covers mostly the Cell Saga. I remember it covering the Cell Saga mostly. But like, it is so good. It's mostly like, it's an RPG where you're basically like fighting. Like you're basically like, it's like I would say it's like an RPG, but think of it like Zelda, like top-down Zelda. But it's really, really fun. And it's really, really charming. It's really good. The story mode's really good. I like the dialogue that they show for all the characters. I love the sprites. I love the moves. I love the progression in the game. Like when you move throughout that game, you do feel like you're getting stronger. I like how you have transformations. I like how multiple characters, you get to play multiple characters. I think the character you play the most is definitely Gohan, I think. But you still get to play like Vegeta, Goku, Trunks. You do a lot of cool stuff in that game, and I believe it's really charming. I think Legacy of Goku, in my opinion, is better. I like it more than Kakarot, but Kakarot's, is Kakarot even on here? I don't think Kakarot's on here. If Kakarot was on here, I don't see it. But if I had to put Kakarot on a list, I would put it like, I'll put it A. But this is my bias talking why Legacy of Goku 2 is in S. Boo's Fury is fine. It's the sequel to Legacy of Goku 2. I don't even know where Legacy of Goku 1's at on here. But Legacy of Goku, not Legacy of Goku 2, I'm sorry. It's basically Legacy of Goku 3. Here's Legacy of Goku. Legacy of Goku is here. But like Boo's Fury is better than Legacy of Goku. But like, I don't know, it doesn't have the same charm to me as Legacy of Goku 2. Like, I don't know why. I gotta replay these games. I really want to. I want them to re-release a lot of these old handheld Dragon Ball games like these. But I'm putting Boo's Fury at the bottom of B. I'm putting Legacy of Goku like in oof. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with Legacy of Goku. Like the progressions, like the pacing is really bad in this game. Like you have to grind. I remember having to grind a lot, and it's not as charming as the other two games. I'm definitely putting it in D, but I think I'm putting it right there. Right there, yeah. Ooh, think about these other games. I haven't played this one. Infinite World. Infinite World is basically like Dragon Ball Budokai 4. Really, really fun. It's basically on the same tier as 3, but like I feel like it's not as charming as 3. I do like some of the side quests though, like side quest type missions. So there's a mission I believe where you're like Goku running on Snake Way, and they have some other like stuff like that, and I actually like that a lot. But I think Burst Limit is still more charming. Like I'd rather go back to play Burst Limit or Budokai 3. I'm sorry, I just yawned. I'd rather go back and play Budokai 3 Tenkaichi 3 more than Infinite World. But that's not Infinite World's fault. Like I know a lot of people that like Infinite World more than Budokai 3. But I feel like I had just more memories and more fun with Budokai 3. But Infinite World's actually really, really good. But like, I feel bad doing this. This sounds weird because I feel like A is pretty high, but I feel like A might be too low. But I enjoy playing Burst Limit and everything in S tier. I'd rather play that more than Infinite World. Even Budokai 3. Budokai 3 is like not as like Infinite Worlds is better than Budokai 3, but I like. Ooh, I can't even say that confidently. Nah, I'm leaving it right there. I like if you put Infinite World above Budokai 3, that's understandable though. I know a lot of people like Infinite World more than Budokai 3, but I just like that game a lot more. It's more. I think Budokai 3 is just more charming. The Infinite World, nothing against it. We're about to get started. We're about to start going into the heavy hitters soon, so I'm gonna start getting rid of some stuff that we don't really talk about. Final Bout is bad. Final Bout's really bad. Do I even need to talk about Final Bout? Final Bout was a PlayStation Dragon Ball GT game. It's basically a 2.5 game. Not really like Tekken, more like Street Fighter, I guess. But it's like really clunky. It's so clunky, really, really bad. The inputs are super bad. Doing any of the moves, like any of the special moves, are really, really hard to do. It is not a fun game at all. You should not play it. Everything in D tier, I believe you shouldn't play. Like you don't have to play these. Like don't touch these. You don't have to. C and above, you can like give a shot or give a chance. But everything in D, you do not need to play them. You will be okay if you do not play these games. What else? I haven't played this. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is either. I don't know what these are at all. Like this. Low key, to make this list look nicer, I'm probably gonna take out this whole like bottom row with all these games and just like throw it away. I haven't played this one either. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is either. Or this. Or this. I'm not ranking this. What is this? I haven't played this either. I played a lot. I haven't. Dang. I feel like I played a lot of Dragon Ball games, which I have. But these are like a lot of like other games I haven't played. Like there's so, like I talk about how they drop the game every year, and I feel like I played a bunch of games. Like that's just like over well over probably like 15 games. Definitely over like 15, 20 games. And yet there's still so much I haven't played. That just tells you like how big the Dragon Ball IP is whenever they drop in games and stuff. I don't know what that is. Okay, so we're gonna get into the big heavy hitters. So let's start off with the one that's the least controversial. So let's start off with Ultimate Tenkaichi. Ultimate Tenkaichi, when it came out for me as a kid, it was fun. Like I thought it was fun. It's definitely not good. I wouldn't play it now. But it was fun at the time. I liked making my own character. You basically had two story modes. You had a normal story mode with boss fights. The story mode, in my opinion, is mostly just boss fights. Like quick time events boss fights. Like there's other fights, but they don't matter to me. They're not that good. But they were just like a lot of boss fights, like story mode boss fights, like Janemba, Grade 8 Vegeta. I think there was... Think of all the big characters. I'm thinking mostly all the big characters with quick time events. Now I'm thinking about it, that story mode's not that memorable. The main thing that's memorable to me is Grade 8 Vegeta and like Janemba, Hirudegan, and it's mostly the big character boss fights. Those were really cool. Meta Cooler. Okay, yeah. Those were really, really cool. Those were really, really cool. But other than that, I didn't really care. The rest of the boss, like, I don't remember the other boss fights like that. I think they were just normal fights. But those boss fights are really, really cool. Even though they're just like QTE, the movie, I thought they looked really good. Like Ultimate Tenkaichi looks really good to this day, in my opinion. I think the models are really, really nice. Like there are a lot. I think it's a lot of like clay and stuff like that, like clay type style, I guess, or realistic Dragon Ball. But it looks really, really nice. Like the presentation, in my opinion, is really nice. It makes me sad because I'm like, this presentation is good in my opinion. I just wish it had the gameplay of the other Tenkaichi games, and it would have been even better. I feel like it would have been actually like a really good game. So in the style in Ultimate Tenkaichi is like, it's not like a real fighting game. It's more like a rock paper scissors type thing. So you would like have a rock paper scissors where you're shooting ki blasts. Basically, you have a long range mode and a close mode, kind of like Pokken. Cause I haven't played a lot of Tekken, so I can't say that. But like Pokken, how Pokken would have like a long range mode, and then it would have like a close range mode. So long range mode, you're shooting like energy blasts and stuff like that, and basically you're trying to hit them with like a bunch of energy blasts to start a combo. And then when you start a combo, you'll get close. You'll basically get like at a close range, but like the combos in the close range are so bland and basic, like super like what's the word? Run down. Like it's dumbed down. They're super simple. Basically not fighting at all. So basically that's why the game has a rock, paper, scissors moniker to it. But it's still like, as a kid, I still found it I found it a little charming. But would I play it again now? No. Do I feel weird where I'm gonna put it right now? Yes, because I'm putting it in C. It's weird, because it feels weird. Because it feels weird that I'd rather play... Actually, it's not that weird. Like, these games to me are really, really terrible. Like, I really don't want to play any of these at all. But Ultimate Tenkaichi, I could tolerate. So I'm putting it here. I'm putting it here. I'm putting it here. Xenoverse 1. Oh. This is hard. Because Xenoverse 1 was revolutionary in terms of Dragon Ball games and even anime games. That game is so good. When it first came out, Xenoverse 1 was definitely one of the cultural revolutionary games for Dragon Ball. The RPG aesthetic, the 3D models, the character creation, the amazing story mode, the co-op, even the really bad PvP. Like, the community for Xenoverse and Xenoverse 2 are so big and were so fun. Like, actually fun. Like, when Xenoverse 1 came out, that's when, like, Dragon Ball games for me changed. Like, that game is amazing to me. But would I play it now? No, because Xenoverse 2 exists, and Xenoverse 2 is better than Xenoverse 1 in every single way, and Xenoverse 2, in my opinion, is the best, like, Dragon Ball game. Non-like fighting game. We're not gonna talk about fighters right now, but the like best just Dragon Ball game. Xenoverse 2 has an amazing story mode, amazing online content. Online's better than Xenoverse 1. I still think you shouldn't play this game PvP unless you're playing with your friend to, like, you know, like, have fun and stuff. But it's so fun. Co-op's better, more missions, amazing story mode moments, even better than Xenoverse 1's. Like, Xenoverse 1 already had a really good story mode, but Xenoverse 2 just made it way better. Even after you beat the main campaign, Xenoverse 2 has been dropping DLC for so long, which is kind of annoying because we wanted Xenoverse 3. I want something new. But Xenoverse 2 is still dropping amazing content in 2022. Like, there's still DLC we're still waiting on. And I believe this game is big. Like, this game is the definition of is definitely the biggest Dragon Ball game and probably the most accessible to anybody. And I feel like if you was going to play a Dragon Ball game, this is the one to play. There's literally nothing wrong, in my opinion, with this game. And everything that was wrong, they really patched and fixed a lot. Like, they fixed a lot of the grinding. Like, they made it easier to get super moves. They made it easier to grind TP medals. And it's just easier to do everything. But a lot of the problems that were fixed with a lot of the updates and the constant, continuous support of the game. And in my opinion, there is nothing wrong with Xenoverse 2. The only way you wouldn't rate it S or A is if you personally just don't like playing it. Like, if you personally just don't like the gameplay. But I feel like for most people, and mostly me, I love the gameplay. And I believe that it deserves to definitely be S. It is definitely should be known as probably the best, either the best Dragon Ball game or one of the best Dragon Ball game. It has to be top 5 in my opinion. Like, there's no other placement to me of Xenoverse 2 than S, to me personally. There's a reason this is probably, I think this is the most sold Dragon Ball game. This and Fighters, I believe. And it's also a reason why, like, this game is still getting support in 2022. Definitely worth being an S. Xenoverse 1 is not as good, but because of the memories of it, I'm putting it... Xenoverse 1 definitely was, like, not the best game when it came out, but, like, it was definitely revolutionary for Dragon Ball games, and Xenoverse 1 gave us Xenoverse 2, so, like, I have to put some respect on it, and I think it deserves to still be high up, even though nowadays, I believe there's, like, if I'm talking about games, like, if I gave you a reason, there's no reason to play Xenoverse 1 anymore. There's no reason, because Xenoverse 2 exists, and Xenoverse 2 is better than Xenoverse 1 in every single possible way possible. But I'm still going to put it in A, just for me thinking about the game, it's like itself, I guess, and being a little biased. I'm being a little biased and putting it here. And just talking about how I view the game. And I think that if you haven't played Xenoverse 2, I think you should still play Xenoverse 1, then play Xenoverse 2. But that's only if you really want to. Like, you could just skip Xenoverse 1 and just play Xenoverse 2, to be honest. You could just do that. It's not going to change anything, because they both follow the Dragon Ball storyline, but they both do it. Sometimes they change how they do it, like different ways of explaining it or different plot twists, but I definitely believe Xenoverse 2 has the best story mode out of any Dragon Ball game. It's amazing. Xenoverse 2 is amazing. play Xenoverse 2. If you haven't played Xenoverse 2, I'm surprised because it's 2022 and this game's been out for a while. But I had it on my PS4, I played on my PS5, I have it on my Switch, and if I had a good PC, I'd also play it on PC. So I'm putting it in S, and I'll leave Xenoverse 1 there. And this is the last game we're gonna talk about. We saved the best for last. So don't make a game better than Xenoverse 2. It's Dragon Ball FighterZ. Okay, listen, I'm a fighting game guy. This is a fighting game channel, basically. Dragon Ball FighterZ is arguably in my top 3 favorite fighting games of all time. Like, Dragon Ball, it's not just because I'm a Dragon Ball fan. I love the gameplay. I have a lot of problems with other anime fighters, like Blaze Blue and Uni and stuff like that. Persona 4, Arena Ultimate, Blaze Blue Cross Tag. And I feel like Dragon Ball FighterZ is the perfect anime game to me. It's like, Dragon Ball FighterZ to me, it doesn't make sense to me how people don't like Dragon Ball FighterZ, but like Marvel 3, because I feel like they're really similar, and I love both games a lot. I like Dragon Ball FighterZ more than Marvel 3, because I feel like Dragon Ball FighterZ is a lot more balanced than Marvel 3, but Dragon Ball FighterZ definitely has the charm, best animation out of any Dragon Ball game, and probably the best animation out of any fighting game. The animations are amazing. They go back to the manga, they go back to the anime. It looks like I'm literally looking at the beautiful Toriyama manga panels ripped right out of the manga and put into an amazing game. Dragon Ball FighterZ is not lazy with its presentation. It's lazy with its lack of costumes and stuff like that, and the story mode. But this game's combat is so good that I can overlook having a bad story mode, and I can overlook some of the other, like, not as much content as like other Dragon Ball games. Like Xenoverse 2 demolishes Dragon Ball. All these games demolish Dragon Ball FighterZ in terms of like content, but Dragon Ball FighterZ also has an argument because it arguably is one of the best fighting games to just play. And so arguably you would play Xenoverse, you would arguably play FighterZ more than Xenoverse 2, or play FighterZ more than any other game on this list, because it is one of the best fighting games and one of the best combats you'll play, in my opinion. So I hope you get what I'm saying, but I feel like this game's combat is definitely carried the game, and it deserves to be in every single person's S tier. I don't believe there's a valid reason to not put it in S as a Dragon Ball fan and also as a big fighting game fan. If you don't, I feel like if you just don't like playing it like that. Like, I can understand not liking, if you're really deep in the competitive side, I can see why you're not as having fun with the game, because of a lot of the stuff that's happened with characters like UI Goku, Android 21, GT Goku in Season 2. But like, people are saying the game is dying, but like, I don't think the game is dying at all. This game is so big. This game's been out since 2018. If you're complaining that a 2018 fighting game is dying now, all right, you're being crazy. But this game is still living on, and it's not even doing as much as like other big fighting games to stay alive. It's just that good to where like people still want to play it. If we had a better netcode, people would be playing it even more. So it's just crazy to me that some people are just trying to discount it now and be like, Dragon Ball FighterZ was not even that good back then. Yes, it was. Stop it. This game was so good that even with the bad netcode, people were still playing it. Come on. Let's stop it. Just stop it. FighterZ is the best Dragon Ball game, and I believe this is my list. I think I'm gonna check. If remember what I said, if I had to put these on here, I would, but I just think it's not. I think it's not fair to these games to put Dokkan on here. Dragon Ball Legends could go on here. If Dragon Ball Legends went on here, it would go like in C for me. Y'all can fight me, but like Dokkan definitely would go like an S, but I don't think it's fair to me. And this game is just Budokai 1 and 3 remastered. The only problem with this is that they changed the music from Budokai 3 to this one, but it's still fine. It's just that the original one is so iconic to me. That's why like it's kind of upsetting a little bit. But I think I would delete this. Yeah, I would delete that. I think this is fine. I'm trying to look again. Do I want to put anything else on here? I don't think I want to. I think this is fine. Connect is the worst Dragon Ball game, but right next to his Final Bout. That's valid to me. I like this list, actually. I think my S tier is really good. I think my S tier is not that arguable. But I think people definitely argue about my B tier. My B tier is definitely controversial, but yeah, I think this is good. This is my Dragon Ball list. So, that was my thoughts. on Dragon Balls, like the Dragon Ball games. I don't know how long this video is. Oh my god, it's almost an hour long. I tried not making this an hour long, just like my Sonic one, but I guess I did. But this game's amazing. These games, all these games are amazing. I'm a big Dragon Ball guy. I love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball is like one of my favorite forms of media, like with Star Wars and Dragon Ball, Star Wars, Sonic, fighting games in general. It's one of my favorite things to ever like exist. So I hold this series very dear to my heart, and anything this series puts out, I will always support, no matter what. You will always hear me buy the new Dragon Ball game or read the new Dragon Ball chapter or watch the new anime. I will try my best to always support this series because this series is amazing to me. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think down below. I don't know a lot of y'all have played a lot of these Dragon Ball games like I have compared to like Sonic games. I feel like Sonic games are a lot more open. But this is how I feel about it, and I love these games. Even the ones down here, I have found some enjoyment with. I'm lying. I'm capping. No, I haven't. Everything C and above, I have. Everything D, like I feel like even naming this like terrible games, like not even D, because I feel like D might be too easy on some of these games. But I'm gonna leave it like that. But yeah, I would say, let me know what you think down below if you have played these Dragon Ball games. If you have not played these games, reminder, these are the ones you should definitely play, and these ones are really cool if you're a Dragon Ball fan. But these ones, even if you're not a Dragon Ball fan, I think these are the ones that you should play. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all later. Expect another not another tier list video probably. I'm hoping to play, since we made it to the end of the video, if you listen to it, the next video I'm planning on uploading hopefully a Hyper Dragon Ball Z like gameplay with one of my friends. I love that game. It's a fan made like free Dragon Ball game made by fans for the fans. It's like really a really like deep fighting game. Like it was the fighters before the fighters, but this one plays like a traditional fighting game with 6 buttons instead of like fighters is 4 buttons. So I want to show it off because not a lot of people still know about it, and I think that every Dragon Ball fan or even just a fighting game fan should know about this amazing Mugen type free fighting game. And it's free. Like you could download it for free and it can run on anything. But I'm getting off topic. So that's the end of the video, and like I said, leave a comment, leave a like, let me know what you think about these games or your opinions on any of these Dragon Ball games, and tell me your history with Dragon Ball if you have one, or any other thing I've talked about in this video. Like I talked about Kid Icarus Uprising for like 5 minutes for no reason. I'm talking about it again. I'm gonna stop this video. Alright, bye. I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace.